Okay, collective, I'm back after a quick intermission. So, the job I did have that was supposed to be work from home, I started off as a solar installer when I first got to the company. I think I was there for a year. I moved around to like 3 different positions while I was there because it just like, I got recruited, kind of picked up by the guy who was in the field as a O&M, which was more like maintenance and troubleshooting, which was actually more fun than the solar install because I love blue collar work. It's very purifying to me, like just hard work and like getting, just good, honest money, and while learning something new and also getting the workouts. You got to be fit to run up and down a ladder. Like depending on how many panels are on the house, like 40 something times, or depending on if you have a chain link method going on or whatever. I remember the hardest one was 3 flights of stairs, man. I was really on that day, and then a ladder. So yeah, but nevertheless, started off as a solar installer, went to O&M, and then went as a permit coordinator. And there's just like some hating ass dude or dudes in every department except for the one that was O&M, but they offered him a higher pay, which he took for another position, and that position of power, which like super cool, good deal. And finally that's where they got me. It's like, okay, they got me in the permit coordinator. They were making claims I wasn't doing my job, I wasn't on time, this and that, but the main issue was having me in the office like I was at a psychiatrist dealing with this shit. It was like always somebody in there talking shit, trying to air me out or whatever, and they were allowing them to be in, so they basically made it safe for predatory people, so making it a toxic work environment. But that company now is bankrupt, and so that there's that. And the company was just being run by trash ass people, and that's just all it was to it. Like the people they had in charge, it's just like, what the fuck? Like, how did you even make it this far in life? And yeah, so that company's bankrupt now. I got correspondence about that via email, I believe. Yeah, email. And I'm not even sure like how I'm supposed to really respond to that. So yeah, it is what it is for them. And I've heard about some pretty terrible shit. Like I was working as a mechanic or a tech, I'll just say technician because there's levels to the shit, at a dealership, and the guy who fired me, because they had me working on a car that I had no training to work on, and the incident, there was an incident. I'm pretty sure I made sure everything was tightened down twice over, not like tight, but made sure I double checked my work, and somehow it still came back with an issue. I got fired, and then I find out maybe a few weeks later that the guy who fired me unalived himself, interestingly enough, right? And then what was it? I forgot what. My timelines get kind of messed up sometimes, so forgive me if something sounds like a little out of order. I know when I was selling insurance, there was all kinds of people who would come in to talk shit. I don't know if it was like, it wasn't a geography, it wasn't a location, because I was in a location where the people they had fucking sense. They weren't on that hood rat shit where they approach you and say all kinds of foul shit to or around you, or to people around you. Like that. I wasn't dealing with, there were no hood rats coming in there, so I know those people were out of place. And they were out of place anywhere they went, because who does that shit? And hood rats can be any race. Like, don't start that shit. Hood rats can be any race. It's a character trait. A hood rat, it's a matter of character, and that's been at every establishment that I've worked in. That some fucking hood rat, and okay, you could say it comes with the territory. It's everywhere I go, but it's an unusual situation where somebody's like constantly talking about what they have assumed to be your personal business, right? And it's just like, reason you're really here. Like, what? Because you sound hurt. You have to be a hurt individual to run around and do some shit like that. So I'm like, did I break somebody's heart? Because it's like, it's not like I was abused in these relationships outside of maybe psychologically in one or two, like, but then it was just kind of like, okay, there was like no blatant abuse, it's kind of like, it was like we treat each other properly on the physical, like the cooking and the cleaning and stuff like that, and just like some form of support. But I never had the true emotional support. It's just like I did myself a major disservice by engaging with some of the energies I did, because there was no emotional, psychological support there. Therefore, no spiritual support. Because how could you know how to support someone spiritually? You don't know how to get, you don't even know how to appease their mental and emotional. So, it is what it is. But at the time, I wasn't realizing that, and lessons learned. But I was always that for somebody else. I was always that person. I'll be a friend to you before I'm anything else to you. And so it's like off the bat, my friendship, is what is there first. But also never compromise my loyalty to me, because you will lose every time. Like there's no question. My loyalty to the Most High, loyalty to myself, loyalty to my son, and vice versa on those last two. However it may go, it depends on the situation, of course, because children can be karmic too, unfortunately. And in the midst of all this, I'm dealing with my son's father being verbally abusive. It was just like cut off. I'm like, okay, well, I don't need to talk to you if my son can tell me what he wants and needs, and then he stopped. So I'm like, okay, cool. And he was still bashing me, of course, in the background somewhere. I can't have a conversation without somebody in the background trying to have a conversation with him too, conveniently, when they've had him all fucking day. But anyways, I'm not bashing him, but it does happen, right? Or somebody talking shit about me in the background while my son's on the phone with me. So yeah, there's that. And just trash situation after trash situation. And you would think that I would be as trash as the people who have tried that shit. I've done some dumb shit, some fucked up shit, but I was always straight up with it. Like, if I'm gonna hit you in the mouth, I'm gonna just hit you in the mouth. I'm not gonna sneak you, right? It's like, I'm not gonna, no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna just, don't get caught slipping. Like, I'm gonna still be straight up with you, but don't get caught by yourself. Because the thing I find is I've never had a one-on-one when there was another person trying to instigate some shit. But if I caught a motherfucker slipping by themselves, that was another story, right? So there's that. Maybe I got some people who are resentful for that, but nobody's saying that, nobody's saying that, oh yeah, this chick, yeah, she hit me right in my mouth, which I have done that, for talking slick right in her face. It's like, what, like I hit a chick for talking about my mom one time. It was just like, I don't regret it, but it's kind of like, damn. It's kind of like looking back at our relationship is like, yeah, so that happened. It's semi-shameful, but it's also like, I did what I felt I needed to do at the time, right? So, because like, and I'm not trying to manifest it, but it's just like half the shit people be saying, they're not gonna sit there in a face-to-face situation with me. They're not gonna, they'll say, oh, she won't even look at me, like on some sideways slick shit. I'm like, what the fuck do I need to look at you for when you aren't even addressing me directly? You're not stepping in front of me, saying anything directly to my face. You're not addressing me. You're talking sideways. So what the fuck? I'm not going to be sitting here spinning in circles trying to find out who the fuck said it or whatever, or, what it's about. Like, if you're not addressing me directly, we ain't got shit to talk about. Period. Like, it's not a conversation. Literally. Figurative and every stretch of the imagination. It's just that motherfucker trying to do some come to me magic, like, the fuck out of here. And who has time for that shit for real? It's just like, oh my gosh, or it gets annoying. I'm not gonna even say exhausting, because it's like I know how to keep it pushing, but it's just I feel like if I get it out there, then people will understand where I'm coming from. Whether I don't really care, but I do, but I don't care. But it's like it gives somebody an opportunity to understand like what it is when it comes to me, but it also gives a person a perspective on how to handle how they want to handle a situation, or what may or may not be going on in a situation. It's just up to you to use your discernment. And I'm also just like clearing, like the movie. I mean, not the movie, the show, The Walking Dead. Right? There was what was his name? Morgan. He had this thing he was doing called clearing. Right? He was going back to these old places, and he was just like, just clearing, and he was like, that was the spiritual aspect. He was clearing energy of all his transgressions, all the transgressions of the people, ex-people that were humans, ex-humans that he had to slay, who were, then zombies when he had to slay them, right? Sometimes friends turned into zombies, and you got to take the heads off, knock the heads clean off the shoulders. It just is what it is in whatever right. And that's what he had to do, unfortunately, and that's part of the process, is that you gotta go. Sometimes you gotta go back and clear. They say don't visit the past. I'm not visiting, I'm clearing it. Clear cache, clear history, browser history, all that shit. That's what I'm doing right now with this. I'm just getting it out there. And if people still want to purposefully misunderstand me, what I went through, the transit or the stage of life I may be in right now, what I'm going through, then that's fuck them. I mean, that's on them. That's if that's what keeps them entertained or keeps them moving forward in their life, may the lessons be learned where they may, and may the energy lay where it lays. I don't know, because I know where I'm coming from, and I know myself, and that's why it's so important to know yourself. No matter who else doesn't know you, it's more important to know yourself, because they are definitely trying to study you and get your psychological password, trying to hack the shit, because they want to know you, because half the motherfuckers talking shit are sitting up trying to destiny swap you, whether it knowingly or unbeknownst to them, because of some shit that somebody else has gotten them unknowingly involved in. Like most people who gossip don't understand that they are involving themselves in black magic, or in my situation, potential sex trafficking. Like, why are you on my jock like that? You know what I mean? Like, why are you so, then that's, that actually goes for celebrities too. Like, they could be sex trafficking some of these celebrities, like, oh, it's a hot topic to talk about somebody's sex life, but why is it your sex life a hot topic, bitch? To yourself. I don't care if I hear about it or not. Like, why aren't you discussing, like, different positions or some shit, or like different ways to get your big O, instead of over here like on my shit? Like, that's on somebody else's shit. That shit has always been creepy to me. I don't want to talk about somebody else's sex like that. It's just like super Hannibal Lecter creepy shit. It puts the lotion on his skin. Like, bitch, okay, if you're really that concerned, bitch, go watch porn or something. Pornhub is still free. Last time I checked, still free. I hope I don't get banned. I hope I don't like the word I just said. But that shit is still free. That's all I'm saying. People pay for that shit too. And I'm pretty sure the people who are that interested in somebody else's sex life are the people who pay for the shit. That's weird to me. Like, if you want to pay for some explicit videos, there are adult toy stores and everything. It's a wonderful world, actually, if you just really get comfortable with yourself or your partner and learn how to explore it. That's what you have a partner for. If they can't do that, then that's probably not the partner for you. Or you don't feel like you can do that, the trust isn't there. Don't bother. Don't fucking bother. Just keep moving. Get your rocks off how you can until you get tired of it and move on. I mean, you don't have to follow that advice, but it's kind of like, that's what I would do if I caught myself out here talking about somebody else's sex life. I don't give a fuck. I don't care what other people are doing in the bedroom or how they move. It's just like, do what works for you, though. But I just like talking about somebody else's sex is manifesting, boredom for yourself. It's like, huh? Like, that's like a mental illness. But anyways, that was like what they were calling a hot topic. That is a sad way to go out. That's the hot topic. Like the hot topic is, why don't you have something better to talk about? The hot topic is, if they talked about themselves, nobody would give a fuck. That's how down bad and sad in the pants and sad in life these people really are. And it's just like, oh man, like I couldn't for the life of me understand that shit. I'm just like, I wasn't embarrassed. I'm like, if anything, I was embarrassed for the motherfuckers. Like, this is really somebody else's like discussion. It's like what I'm doing with my genitals, even though I'm not fucking them, right? Or I'm not sleeping with them. I'm not doing anything that I was accused of doing, nor have I. Like that, it's just like I was just trying to find that one partner. Like it didn't have to be something serious. It could have just been the physical aspect, and I would have been cool. But it always turned into something like, they want a relationship or some shit like that, or they got, started showing like red flags that were just like turn-offs. So they're like, all right, well, it's been real. Yeah, just on my way out. So I don't normally talk this much. I gotta drink some water. But anybody else's life and what they're doing in general, because maybe those people like the creativity outside of maybe insults. I heard some pretty creative insults around me. It's like, I would laugh if it wasn't you talking about somebody else. Like, I would laugh if you were talking about yourself, because I could sit here and talk about myself all day. The material is definitely there, and yeah, I could talk about other people too, which I did for a minute on social media before I really knew what this really was. Honestly, I realized that the motherfuckers really did need me, and I didn't need them, because trash doesn't get followed around, treasure does. Trash doesn't get stalked and talked about, and you don't keep going to the page of somebody who's trash. Clearly, as you can see from this example, because you can check my IP addresses, it ain't nothing like theirs. Theirs is like, oh, we got notifications for this bitch and everything. Like, whoa, hold on. Every time I post a video, like they got something to say about it. It's just like, okay, parasites. It's like, but they're mad now because it's just like, I'm talking about shit that they have never talked about before in their life probably, and they can't relate. They wouldn't even know where to start. They wouldn't even know how to explain the shit off, and I've been doing that, and that's why they're trying to shut me up. It's like I'm not talking about a bunch of bullshit. I'm talking about some real shit, and they just keep trying to bring up something that some dumb motherfucker told them was a part of my past, who I left in the past, and I still to this day don't know who the fuck it is. And it is, it just is what it is, because it's like the thing I had to learn to accept is that you don't have to know a motherfucker, obviously, from the collective experience, for a motherfucker to just hate your guts but not be able to stay off your nuts. It's like, what? That was surreal to me. I'm like, whoa, hold on, that's wild. So we have confused fans out here. Like, they don't really hate us for real. They hate themselves for not being us. Peanut butter jealous time. Peanut butter jealous. Peanut butter jealous. Peanut butter jealous because they ain't all that. Like, that shit is crazy. Like, what are you doing with your life? Your free time? Oh, I'm on this bitch's page so I can find some negative shit to say. Oh, word? Okay, keep that. I'm gonna go make money. I'm gonna go enjoy my life and mind my business. Whether I'm gonna go improve my health mentally, where you are destroying yours. So it's like, if you're talking about somebody else's life and how they're living it, I'm gonna go maybe take notes off that person and go live my life. Just try it out. Don't knock it until you try it. Go live in a trailer for some time and see how that works out. It might change your life instead of just fucking hating. But most of these people, they can't afford that because they already invested in a prisoner lifestyle, a slave lifestyle. So whose fault is that? So it's like, I could have been fighting for a house that was stolen from me, but instead I just went on a whole journey. I could have been fighting for that inheritance. Still to this day, that's how they would have had me down and out. Is that, oh yeah, we're gonna steal your inheritance and we're gonna like splurge with them. I'm like, okay, I'm not missing what I didn't have. I guess it wasn't for me to have it right now. And looking at my spending habits back in the day, probably like buying material shit, I'd probably still be living in a fucking trailer with that shit. It had it crossed my mind, but it took me to get to this point because I've always wanted a trailer. I always wanted to live in a trailer and just travel the country. So I'm kind of there now. Like, I'm where I need to be to start that lifestyle. I just need the money, you know. And I deeply apologize to the man who is helped me out to get this trailer. Yeah, it's just like shit's been messed up. My money, people have been playing with my money and all kinds of weird shit. And it's just like, you know, they don't get enough. They don't stop. I'm sorry. I tried to tell you a little bit about the situation. Hopefully you understood it. Hopefully you're not too pissed off at me. And I will be in touch. I will be calling. Right now, I'm just trying to get things sorted out to where it works out for both of us. Deeply apologize for that. So, yeah, I am working on it. I'm saving some money, and hopefully I can just, you know, get caught up or just pay it all off at somewhere in the near future. Yeah, but I do need to take care of myself out here, and I will be. Yeah, you will get your money. Period. But yeah, basically people stalking, harassing me everywhere I would go, trying to drive me crazy, stalking me in Walmart, Target, the gas station, pulling up on the side of me like some little roach critter, looking all sad and shit, pulling up on the side, go see what she doing. Like, you need to go find out what you're doing with your life, because I mean, who does this? Like, seriously, really and truly, go to my job and try to see what I'm doing so they can talk shit about it in the streets. Oh, she ain't doing nothing but prep work, and she loves cooking, she loves the heat, blah blah blah, just weird shit like that. I'm like, what are you doing still but watching me? Clearly you love me, bitch. Like, cause I don't understand why you would be, why somebody, some random weirdo would be concerned about what I'm doing at work, at home. Like, I'm doing everything I'm doing is legal. Like, and they apparently, from what I'm understanding, from what I'm hearing, I had a police investigation launched on me, and you know, I had these cops just around me, like at all times for no fucking reason. Like, I wasn't tripping because I'm not doing shit wrong, you know, under investigation or not. It doesn't matter who's watching and who isn't. I'm still doing what I would be doing whether somebody was watching or not. It doesn't matter. I'm still doing me. So what are you doing but wasting your fucking time, wasting your life? Like, find one. You know, do you have a life, dude? I mean, get one. You know, and I don't mean by taking one from somebody else and trying to destiny swap, bitch. I mean, get one. Like, what the fuck? It doesn't, you know, like, it's like, what the hell? And I feel better just sitting here talking about it, to be honest, because it's like, am I the only one who just doesn't understand this shit? Like, because they were accusing me of putting a hit on somebody, but I'm like, with what money? You just read around talking about my account being in the negative. What the fuck are you talking about? And when I had the money, was I doing that? No, bitch, I wasn't. I wasn't giving all they've been doing is watching me not give a fuck about them. So that's the weird shit. You know, it's just like, maybe you should reconsider your options. Like, you know, like, if this is for money, it's not about to pay out for you. Like, I can guarantee you that it's not about to pay out for them. Because I'm like, you're not about to find me doing nothing wrong. You can't frame me. You know, you can't frame somebody who doesn't fuck with people who even fuck with illegal stuff. Like, if I find out somebody's doing something illegal, I'm out the door. Like, I'm a ghost. Who? I don't know who that is. Like, number deleted and everything. If I get your phone, I'm deleting my number from your phone. That's how I roll. Like, and I've done that shit too. I've literally deleted my number from a motherfucker's phone when I ain't want nothing to do with it no more. You know, like, I work at a job distributing chemicals and checking the balances. Also building and repairing industrialized dishwashers. And you know, I was on call one night and they, you know, left the car unlocked stupidly, and they stole my whole bag, my ID, each other, love on yourself and each other.